Long story short, Mario games go gone and I'm tasked with bringing them all back by making them all over again. This is a terrible idea. I don't know how to make a Mario game. I could barely make good levels in Mario Maker. Oh man, what idea? What idea? I gotta call my mom. I gotta call the FBI. I gotta call the police. I gotta call George Washington. Think. I can work with this. Also, welcome to the Super Mario Ton. So, for those who haven't seen my Mario 1 and Lost Level reviews, man, has it been this long? I'm still proud of how I did my Lost Levels review. Sorry, losing focus. The Lost Levels was rejected for a Western release. And considering how difficult and how similar it was to the first game, yeah, it would have put a huge dent in the company. Like... oops. But that leaves Nintendo in quite a pickle. Super Mario Bros. Was a huge success. It has to have a sequel. It has to be good, and at this point, it has to be now. Well, it's not stealing if it belongs to you. Yumi Kojo Doki Doki Literature Club, Doki Doki Panic, which roughly translates to Dream Factory Heart Pounding Panic, a game made for the disk system in 1987 to help promote Fuji Television's Yume Kojo's 87 event. And honestly, it was the perfect game to reuse. The game already had a lot of Mario elements, most of the team from Super Mario Bros. Worked on it already, and all they had to do was replace the main characters with Mario characters. Since Nintendo made the game, there was little copyright issue.
No copyright law in the universe is going to stop me!
And so the game was redone as Super Mario Bros. 2 the following year in 1988 in the US and 89 in Europe. And then Nintendo made a Japanese version of that game as Super Mario USA in 1992. That's cool and funny. Imagine owning Doki Doki Panic and Super Mario USA. And in 1992 no less. Super Mario World would have been out for 2 years by this point. So, how is this game? Did it work? No, seriously. Did it? Why aren't you answering? One night, Mario dreamt of a long staircase leading up to a door, and behind that door was a mysterious world. A voice then tells Mario that this is Subcon and is being taken over by an evil frog named Wart. And he hates vegetables. This will be on your tests. After that, Mario then wakes up. The next day, Mario had a picnic with Luigi, Princess Peach, and some random toad about the dream. Turns out, they all had the exact same dream. Then they found a cave which leads to a staircase which leads to a door which leads to Subcon. The story's not too bad here. Game time! Nice way to show off the vertical scrolling. The first thing you'll immediately notice, besides your fear of heights, I swear we've all had that exact same dream once, is how you defeat your enemies. You can't just stomp on them anymore. You just stand on them. Talk about strength. Imagine a fat Italian plumber on your head. Instead, you can pick up vegetables out of the ground and throw them at your enemies. And you can also pick up your enemies and throw them at others. It's very satisfying to say the least, and it has its own special kind of skill, like angling where and when to throw. You might even cause a chain reaction and defeat more enemies. Now, why vegetables are used to kill enemies is something I will never understand. This was sadly a Miyamoto bike idea. You may also notice that you now have a health bar, predating Super Mario 64. Because of that, there are no real power-ups. The closest we've got are the stuff you can pull out of the ground besides veggies. There's 7-Up mushrooms, Koopa shells, bombs to blow up NES blocks of dirt. If you pull out enough turnips, you can pull out a stopwatch which will freeze time for a short while, and a red potion that when thrown will turn into a door, which leads to subspace. Here, the screen will stop scrolling, and you have a few seconds to pull out coins from the ground, which can be used in slot machines for extra lives at the end of each level, or pull out a mushroom which will extend your health bar by 1. The thing with the mushroom is, you kinda have to guess where it's gonna be. It's all trial and error, or memorization if you played the game enough times. All that being said, what is subspace? My headcanon is that since Subcon is a world of dreams or something, Subspace is the nightmare world. If that ends up being the case in the future, you're welcome, Nintendo. There are other helpful stuff above ground. There's the cherries that'll give you a star after collecting 5 of them, the power block from the Mario Bros arcade game, which is pretty much a screen nuke, mushroom blocks which can either be used as weapons or small platforms that can reach that one item in the shop, and the keys to unlock doors, but you gotta be careful of the phantom mask that will chase you down while you have a key. And this is a good way to transition into the enemies. By the way, all the enemies here together are called the 8-bits. How does nobody talk about this? We've got the regular Shy Guys, Sniffets which will shoot at you, Pokies, Bombs which are very aggressive in this game, Cobrats, Panzers which are a pain, and more. At the end of each level, you'll fight Birdo, a transgender dinosaur bird thingy that can shoot eggs out of her mouth. How do you come up with this stuff? She's initially not too bad. Just pick up her eggs and throw them at her 3 times to defeat her. Pick up the orb and move on to the next level. But then she gets harder and harder, spitting out fire to the point where you'll have to use the mushroom blocks, and even the level design with the walls and pits will fight against you. Speaking of which, the level design is very interesting. Obviously a lot of platforming stuff to do here, but there's even a little bit of exploration here, more so than Mario 1. It's not just a simple going to the end of the level. You'll sometimes have to go through the right door, pick the right path, or even stand on top of a bird and make sure you don't fall into the bottomless pit. I like this part where there's a bird though, but no real exit, nor any boss music. To proceed, you jump on top of the egg, and off you go. It does have its where do I go moments, but I like it. Even the warp zones are even more hidden. You got to take the red potion to one of these jars. Normally, they're pretty much little areas for a small item, or occasionally to progress into the level. But if you go to Subcon and go down the right jar, you'll go to a further world. And considering how hard some of these levels are and you only get 2 continues, these are a welcome addition. There are also these sections where the screen scrolls vertically instead of horizontally. Nice touch! Here's something I should have mentioned much earlier. There are 4 playable characters to choose from at the start of each level: Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, and Toad. They each have their own attributes. Mario is the balanced guy, Luigi jumps slow but high, Toad can't jump very high but can run and pick things up the fastest, and Princess Peach can float for a second but has the worst stats overall. This really makes playing each level a bit unique. I usually play as Luigi a lot, but I go for Toad if I'm in a desert level. Peach is probably the easiest for beginners with her floating ability. And Mario is Mario. For a game that released 2 or 3 years after the first one, the graphics are a big step up. Mario and crew have a lot more details on them, and even a dark blue outline of sorts. Clever color choice, by the way. And the levels are really good. The animation on the grass, waterfalls, the vines, and let's not forget the level design. Grassy, desert, icy, castle-like, the skies, caves, all of this is a huge step up from Mario 1. I do find it funny that the insides of the jars look like they were made from an Atari 2600 game. Anyone else, or is it just me? The music is pretty good too. It's surprisingly too Mario-like for a game that wasn't really a Mario game at the start. The melodies are good and very catchy. I have a feeling you'd be humming along to a good few amounts of them. And the very few remixes from the first game are good too. It's also nice to hear them at the correct speed after my Mario 1 review, which isn't exactly a PAL issue? Huh? Then why does it go faster? Anyway, for some reason, the underground music is a tiny bit slower. Not sure why this one and not the others, but I'm just nitpicking at this point. Speaking of nitpicking, why do we hear only one audio channel when the game is paused? I don't mind this, but why is that a 10? Fun fact, if you get a second controller and press some buttons, you can automatically lose a life. Most likely in case you get stuck somewhere, since there's no time limit. Heh, check this out. Yeah, I do this, and I'm on the spikes, yeah, but oh no, I'm gonna die. Oh, what I do? Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this! Gaming skills! There's 7 worlds, each one having 3 levels, except for the last one, which only has 2 levels. At the end of each world is a boss right after Birdo, or no Birdo? There's Mouser, a mouse that'll throw bombs at you and you have to throw them back. Triclide, a 3-headed snake that spits fire. Claw Grip, a giant crab who throws rocks at you and you have to throw them back. And Fry Guy, a giant fire that'll turn into smaller Fry Guys once you defeat her. And they're pretty hard to kill. A huge step up from the same old Bowser fights if you ask me. The last 2 levels are pretty tough. A lot of tricky platforming and enemy placements in tight spaces, and those speed walking bombs. And that Birdo fight while you're on a conveyor belt just so I can keep going in the level. And before you can move on to the final boss, you have to fight a door. And after you defeat it, you still enter it. Shigeru me a motorbike, everybody. And then you fight Wart the Evil Frog by grabbing the vegetables from the machine he's using as some sort of power, I guess, and throwing them into his mouth. Only evil don't eat healthy, kids! And after defeating him, we free the people of Subcom. They beat him up, I guess. This got a little dark. And it turns out it was a dream all along. Or maybe it happened, but in the dream world? Nintendo really needs to come back to this world. And this is honestly a cute little cutscene for the NES. Almost on par with Ninja Gaiden. Huh, the music doesn't even match with the cutscene in the PAL version. And that was Super Mario Bros. 2 USA Doki Doki Panic in Funkatron, the game based on a movie starring Jack Black. What do I think of it? Well, it's a little different gameplay wise, but hot damn is it pretty good. Defeating enemies is satisfying, the platforming is still good and a little challenging. I do like the exploration elements, and it's got charm. Back when it released, there was a massive stock shortage due to how popular the game was. So, there you go. Give it a try. Like the last 2 games, this one was remade for Super Mario All-Stars. The game looks and sounds a lot better, you can save your progress after each world, so it's a little easier. And you can now select which character to play as whenever you lose a life too. So you can experiment with other characters a lot more if you're struggling with one level as a certain character. This boss room also has Lego blocks now. So, there's that. There was also another port in 2001 called Super Mario Advance for the Game Boy Advance. It's pretty much the same as the All-Stars version, but with more additions. You get to play a remake of Mario Bros, which is honestly one of the best versions. There's a lot more giant enemies, and Sprite Squash and Stretching, which I guess it was a launch title for the GBA. You start off with only 1 hit point, but there are plenty more ways to refill your health now. The World Tree boss is now a robot Birdo for some reason. There are collectible A-coins to collect, and when you beat the game, you can go through the levels to find hidden Yoshi eggs in subspace, which adds to the exploration of the game. There's also a lot of voice acting in this game, and I mean a lot! The colors are a bit brighter, which makes sense since GPAs at the time had no backlights. And the screens are cropped, which, again, is fine. But then you get to subspace and you can't scroll the screen here too, which makes getting the mushrooms and the Yoshi eggs even harder. Honestly, any version will do, but I recommend either All-Stars or Advanced. Me personally, I'll stick with All-Stars. Me like a bigger screen. Well, off to a good start. Next time on the Super Mario Ton, we'll be taking a look at Super Mario Bros. 3, going back to the traditional formula. Bye! Hey guys, I am really sorry how long this one's taken as well, dear freaking god. But I hope you enjoyed the video so far. I mean, you made it to the end. I mean, you didn't skip to the end, right? What kind of person goes to the end just for the end card? But if you didn't just skip to the end and you actually watched the video, then what's wrong with you? You could have spent your time with doing other stuff, but no. You're watching this video for 15 minutes. Don't... Thank you so much. If you like this, don't forget to like, comment, sub. Give me a subway, please. And you I hope you will look forward to more Mario videos. Not all of them will be Mario videos, but there's gonna be a lot of Mario videos because, you know, it's a Super Mario Ton. What you expect? So yeah, and as I said at the end, the next time on the Mario Marathon or Mario-ton is gonna be Super Mario Bros. 3. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm really looking forward to this marathon in general because there are a good few Mario games that I have yet to complete, especially the classic ones. This is the first time I've beaten Super Mario Bros. 2 USA, so there's that. Thank God for the warp zones because I cannot stand having to play the whole game all over again from start just because I got game over. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. I certainly had a good time making them. I had a good time making it, sorry. And I will see you next time